Good afternoon, Laurel School 7th graders. This is Corey Hutchinson, your college and career advisor. Today we're going to talk about finding money for college and helping pay for it, okay, and specifically with financial aid and FAFSA, which is a government financial aid program for school. This is important information because as you get into high school, many of you are even now starting to think about what college you want to go to. So it's important you know what the costs are, how you're going to pay for them, and get those questions answered now, because if you do it now and don't wait, you'll be a step above everybody else who's going to be scrambling at the last minute, and you don't want to put yourself or your family through that. So these are important conversations to have between you and your family and whoever's involved in your educational life, because it's going to help you if you sort out what college you want to go to, how you want to pay for it, and those questions now. So today we're going to go through some things. We're going to talk about federal student aid, which comes from the government, state student aid from colleges, and then scholarships that come from other sources. Okay, we're going to answer what is financial aid, how can I get it, how much, how do I apply, what happens next, all those questions. All right, so what is financial aid? Financial aid is money to pay for college or career school. Now, a career school is a technical school. And just to differentiate between the two, college, you get a 2 or 4 year degree. Career school, technical school, you get a license or a certification. So if you want to be a plumber or a cosmetologist, you go to a technical school. You get the license for it. There you go. It usually takes much less time than a college degree. It all depends on what you want to do for your career, which one of these you would attend. Okay, so financial aid is broken down into four main things. Grants. Now, the grants are money that comes from the government. Grants are really good because you don't have to pay them back. Now, you can't just use them for whatever. You have to use them for what they were made for. So if the government or a school gives you a grant for tuition, you can't go to Busch Gardens and buy the ticket with that grant money. Even though you don't have to pay the money back, you do have to use it for what it's meant for, or else there will be a penalty. Work study is where your college puts you in work doing something for them, and they pay you for it or take money off of your tuition bill for it. Loans are lended to you by the government or a bank. You do have to pay them back with interest. And scholarships are free money that you can get from the colleges or potentially the state that you're in. I mean, it's not totally free. You do have to apply. You do have to meet certain requirements, but you don't have to pay that money back once you get it. All right, who can get federal student aid? This is a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. You do need to be a high school graduate if you're out of high school or in high school on track to graduate, okay? Or you can hold a GED. You have to be in an eligible degree or certificate program. So if you go to school, some colleges have options where you can just take some classes there and not be in a degree program. Those people aren't going to qualify for any federal aid. You have to be in an actual degree program, which I'm sure majority, if not all of you, would be in. Have to have a valid social security number, which you would already have. If you are a male and you're registered for selective service, they're automatically going to put your information into the FAFSA, and that's something you'll do at age 18. And you must meet satisfactory academic progress in your college or technical school. And that's basically you're taking classes, you're passing all of them, you've paid everything. You know, you're not behind on any classes, bills, or anything like that from the college, and you'll meet that requirement. All right, next thing, who can get other kind of financial aid? So each state, college, and scholarship has their own eligibility criteria. When you're looking for them, and start this research now, because some of you may want to go out of state. Some of you may want to stay in Florida. Look at what other states offer. You know, if you may not want to stay in Florida your whole life, let's say you want to move to North Carolina. Look at what that state offers for college. As an example, the state of Maine has a state income tax. So every year that you work in Maine, a portion of your income tax goes to the state of Maine. If you have student loan balances right now, they are waiving that state income tax for you to help you pay off the student loan balance. So there are some states that do different things like that. So just check out if you have an idea what state you want to be in, what kind of programs that state might have. Okay, just be sure you know what you need to do to qualify for any scholarship, aid, or whatever it is that you're looking at. How much federal student aid can I get? So it depends on your financial need. Okay, so financial need is determined by two things: the expected family contribution and cost of attendance. All right, so the FAFSA is a free application for federal student aid. You're going to do this when you're ready to apply for college, probably your junior or senior year of high school. You're going to do this even if you don't want money from the government. If you want to do a scholarship, they're going to want you to have this on file. All right, and you'll learn more about that as time goes. The cost of attendance is your tuition, fees, room and board, anything that you're paying for while in college. The expected family contribution, basically the FAFSA report, you put whatever your family's income was from their last tax return. They're going to use their formulas to determine what amount of money they expect your family to contribute to your college. They are going to subtract that from your cost of attendance. Whatever's left over is what you will get aid for. Okay? Sometimes they are not very fair when they do their formulas, but it is what it is. So how much can you get? These different things have different requirements. All right, so here are the different types of aid here. Now, this is the maximum amounts according to the guidelines here for major programs, and this is for each year. Okay, so a federal Pell Grant, this is again a grant, 5920. Federal work study depends on whatever your school has on file. Subsidized and unsubsidized loans are 5,500 total. Plus loans are for parents. That's cost of attendance minus other aid received. Whatever's left over, that's what you can get there. Okay, and subsidized loans, government pays the interest on it, so you don't pay any interest. Unsubsidized, government does not pay the interest, so you will pay the interest on those. Okay, if you have any questions, studentaid.gov/glance will give you some information. Okay, there's actually an estimate you can look if you just want to check right now. It's called FAFSA Forecaster. Okay, go to FAFSA.gov, find the link Thinking About College, which is where you all are right now as 7th graders. Enter some estimated financial information and you'll get an estimate. And then that way you can kind of see how the process works. Okay. State, school, and private scholarship money. It's going to depend on the program, so do your research. Medical program is going to give you different amounts of aid than a English program. Okay. Ask your college financial aid office for info about aid available at their schools. So what type of scholarship opportunities do they have? Do they walk you through it? Do they have a counselor for it? Some schools have financial aid counselors that will give you all your options and be sort of like a school financial advisor. Some schools don't, so consider that. Studentaid.gov/scholarships will give you a free scholarship search there. Just check out what's there. Naviance has some scholarship information in it, but do pay attention to requirements when you do go to apply, okay? So when you go to apply, very important, do these applications as early as the windows open. FAFSA usually opens in November or October of the year, and you need to get that done as soon as possible because most of these things are on a first come, first served basis. So you get potentially more money if you start early. So fill out the free application at FAFSA.gov. State aid, whatever your state website is, like Florida is FLDOE, Florida Department of Education. There's also a Florida College website. School aid is going to be at your school financial aid office. Scholarships are going to be at the scholarship website. Some of them will be connected to your school website, FAFSA, or the scholarships.gov that we showed earlier. When you're doing it federally, you're going to create a username and password called the FSA ID at this website, and this is just an overview. You guys will go through all this again when you go to do it. You and your parent do have to have an ID each because they're using your parent's financial information. They need their own account. You need your own. Okay. Have a unique email address. Keep it secure because it does have your tax information in it, personal sensitive information. Okay. Make sure you have all your documents ready. Preview some of the questions. Fill it out. deadline, or the window opens now on October 1st. Some months, some years it's been November, but it's October for the right now. Each state may also set its own deadline that you'll find there. Each school will also have its own deadline on the school website. Okay. Watch for a response by email. Probably not going to come by mail. It'll come by email confirming that it was processed. Double check your info is correct. Correct any mistakes and submit any corrected info again as soon as possible. Alrighty. Watch for any emails or letters from schools you are considering. If they want extra paperwork, give it to them as quickly as possible. All right, each school is going to tell you how much aid you can get. They're going to send you a thing. This is what you qualify for. Okay, and what each school gives you may focus your decision on one school over the other. Okay, so keep focused on that. One school may be willing to give you more than another school for the same program. All right, just depends. So do keep a lookout on that. Set your heart on a school if you want to, but be willing to change if it makes financial sense. Okay. Keep in touch with the financial aid office to find out when and how you will get your aid. Some schools tend to drag their feet on distributing it. Make sure if that appears to be the situation that you stay on top of them. Make sure they're doing what they need to be doing. If you have any questions, you can always contact me, but also go to studentaid.gov. That'll give you some info. It'll give you links to free scholarship and college searches. 1-800-4FED-AID. That'll give you information if you want to call, but this is a lot easier just going to the website. Alrighty, that's all for this one. Appreciate you guys listening. This is really important to focus on, because if you start your student aid search now, you and your family are going to have a much easier time doing budgets and things like that for school if you start now as opposed to later. So do think about that as you think about which college you want to go to. Have a great afternoon, Laura Comas.